What are you glad you tried once, but will absolutely never do again? Caving. Not the walking into a space type, but the crawling from one side to the other and having to return through the exact same narrow crawling space. Descending and crawling into trauma should be illegal. It's like voluntarily going into Death Valley in the hottest days and with good equipment, but knowing that if anything goes wrong, you are dead, dead, dead. Traveling as a backpacker. Glad I experienced it, but fuck that shit. I am not able to deal with having strangers in my space 24/7. Travel is fun when I have a private space to go back to at the end of the day, but constantly sharing living and bedding space with people I don't know makes me anxious as fuck. Nice! I like the backpacker life enough, although I do prefer a private hostel room, and I still did that once or twice a week. I always stay at quiet hostels though, and female only if I get the chance, so things are just much calmer. Dropping out of college taught me a lot of things while I was away, primarily how I did not want to drop out of college. Finishing my degree in spring of 2027. Same here, finally finishing next semester, spring 2026. Keep working hard, we got this. Live in Korea. I experienced it as a student who was studying abroad. If I tried it again, it would be as an adult in the workforce, and fuck that. I have a remote job and spend a lot of my day working alongside Koreans. Their work culture is so fucked up. For example, you can't leave the office until your boss leaves. So if you work 9 till 5, it's your birthday and you're meeting friends for drinks after work, but your boss has an online meeting 11 p.m. to midnight, you're staying at work until midnight and canceling your birthday plans. You can't ever disagree with your boss, no matter how unreasonable his requests are or idiotic his ideas are. It's been getting better over the last 10 years. They no longer have the second longest working hours in the world. The government had to put their computers on a timer so they'd automatically shut down to force people to leave the office. My job title is Overseas Manager, and I spend most of my day making unreasonable requests from the Koreans sound palatable to non-Koreans. All right, tiny break. I set myself a goal to reach 100 subs before the month ends. So if you're still here, maybe drop a like and subscribe. Let's see if we can actually pull it off. Let's continue. Joining the Navy. Hated the Navy. Got out and joined the Army. I knew a guy that did the same. Seemed happier in the Army. I did 8 years and couldn't get out soon enough towards the end. Really missed most of the people though. Scuba diving. Not juicy, but the thing was I was in Southeast Asia, Philippines specifically, and I have a pacemaker. The opportunity came up and I wanted to try it, but had no way of contacting my cardiologist and getting a response in time to make sure that it was even an option for me. I tried to Google it, but classic internet gave me a whole mixed bag of information. So I decided to risk it and give it a go. It was magical. I saw corals and schools of fish. I even saw an octopus. The guy took me pretty deep. Anyway, next time I had an appointment with my doctor, I casually asked him if scuba diving was an option for me, and he said technically yes, but my device can't take very much pressure, so they generally recommend snorkeling. He, knowing me well, asked me if I did it already and how far down I went. He was appalled when I told him. So, glad I took the risk, because if I had gone through the proper channels, I would have missed out on an amazing experience, and now I know I will never get to do it again, so I'm glad I did it. Mardis Gras in New Orleans. It was a blast to do it once in my early 20s, but I have zero desire to do it again. It's like a crowded sidewalk frat party, and this mix of smells made it one and done for me. Welding with a pencil, I lit myself on fire, and for the work that goes into it, it's not worth it. Knowing nothing about welding, this is a wild sentence. Watch the New Year countdown in the middle Times Square. 13 hours of standing still in the cold, not able to leave our area, listening to the performers practice bits and pieces of their sets for TV, being surrounded by screaming and yelling people all around you for hours and hours, not being able to walk because of standing still for so long. It was a great experience, but I don't want or need to do it again. Now, watching the New Year countdown on TV every year makes it more meaningful since I was there. Bingo. Standing around like cattle in pens. Can't drink or eat for fear of going to the bathroom and getting out of your designated area. There's a reason everyone loses their minds at midnight. They get to go home. Skydiving. Certified skydiver here. It's a lot of fun, but in my humble opinion, a money pit that doesn't reward you like many other hobbies can. You get tempted to do either more dangerous things or more elaborate ones, group jumps, and there's just no particular payday like getting more fit or skilled to where it can matter or apply outside of that. and it takes loads of jumps to get there, so you're tens of thousands of dollars in the hole, and you also have to live in the right areas or travel to do the coolest stuff. Really limiting. For me, the problem was how short the fun part lasts. It's like doing an amazing drug that only lasts 30 seconds at a time, then you have to wait to get down, repack, wait for your turn to go back up, have 30 seconds of fun, and do it all again.
I convinced my friend to join by saying, "This ain't the first time you spend $300 for something that lasts 2 minutes."
Mountain biking. Exhilaratingly fun, but I almost fell down a mountain and died. I'll never forget it for good and bad reasons, but I'll never do it again either. Now put snow on that mountain and give me a board and we're chillin'. I feel almost exactly the opposite about mountain biking and skiing. Held a baby lion at a roadside place. I was younger and didn't think beyond baby lion, but in retrospect, it was clearly not helpful to fund that sort of thing. Post-Tiger King clarity. Don't beat yourself up too bad. We're all one baby tiger and a hit of crystal meth away from an abusive gay marriage. Being in a sister-wife situation for a guy I was madly in love with. I am fascinated by this. I was miserable all the time. 0 out of 10, don't recommend. A track day in my own car, did it last year. I drive a reasonably quick car, an Golf R, and have always fancied doing a track day. My friends and family clubbed together for my 40th and bought me a day at an open track event at Silverstone GP Circuit. I enjoyed it a lot. It was great to fully open the taps and drive around an iconic track as much as I liked, but I don't think I'd like to do it again. First off, even though my car isn't slow by any means, most of what I was driving with were supercars, which I was extremely paranoid about crashing into despite having insurance. I spent most of the day looking in the rearview mirror and getting out of the way of Porsches, Aston Martins, and such. Worse was the Caterhams, which are a very lightweight track-focused car, which meant they could brake a lot later and corner a lot faster than me, so it seemed like every other corner I had one up my exhaust pipe waiting to get past. Aside from that, I was also worried about the amount of wear and tear I was causing my car, which is effectively a fast road car and not best suited for track driving. The engine was getting pushed very hard, as were the tires and brakes. The car held up fine, and it sailed through its MOT test a month later, but if I were to make it a regular thing, I've no doubt the maintenance costs would begin to skyrocket. I went to the Porsche Center at Silverstone for my 50th, spent 90 minutes learning how to handle a 911 Carrera 4 GTS around their circuits with one of their instructors, fast road simulation, launch control, skid pan, the whole thing. I had an amazing time, and I'd recommend it to anyone who's interested in fast cars. But I scared the shit out of myself once I realized that my ability to drive the car ran out much quicker than the car's ability to be driven. It's not even a supercar by modern standards, less powerful than McLarens, Lamborghinis, or Ferraris by some margin, but I realized just how much trouble I could get myself into by not paying attention even for a moment if I was driving something that fast on a public road. I then drove home very carefully in my Ford Fiesta. Homelessness taught me how to survive, be grateful, be focused, and be cautious with my life. Gave me my will to live back. I never want to do it again, ever. Cigarettes. I didn't hate the taste, and to be fair, I was able to quit easily enough once I got tired of it, but looking back, I only did it because I had smoking friends and didn't want to be excluded. And once I got away from those friends, it's just an unhealthy habit that makes my breath smell and my sense of taste weak for the rest of the day. Swimming with manatees. I know they're sweet, calm water cows, but they scare me, and I did it anyway and will never again. That's how I was swimming with whale sharks. I know they wouldn't hurt me, but holy fuck was I scared shitless. Sprinkle in a bit of thalassophobia too. It was a good and fun experience, but I got the pictures and videos, so I'm good. A one-night stand. I was so worried about missing out on the sexual exploration phase of hooking up, etc. Turns out the reason I hadn't done it before is because it's simply not for me. Not bad, just kind of boring. I've had a one-night stand once. For me, it's not because it's boring, but because apparently I feel connected to people quite quickly. It was rough seeing that guy after we had mutual friends and him acting like nothing had happened. For me, it's going on cruises. I did not enjoy being seasick for a week, and all I wanted to do was play in the ocean. Instead, it was a giant boat flooded with entertainment, which was honestly overstimulating. The only thing I did was drink the whole time, which did not help with the seasickness. I get that it can be fun for certain people, but for me, nope. I enjoy being on land and having the ability to go into the ocean if I want to. I'm from the Midwest, so being finally so close yet so far from the ocean was an odd thing to travel for. So that's it for today's story. Write down what are you glad you tried once but will absolutely never do again. If you had fun listening, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and tap that little bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for hanging out. See you soon.